What's good, guys? So a few days it was announced the game's coming to PlayStation Plus Essential in March, and we were notified that Dragon Age the Veilguard would be one of those games. Now, why is this noteworthy? This is noteworthy because that game released only 4 months ago. And I think I know, because of a lot of where the discourse surrounding this game was online, that there will be a lot of people who will be, dunking on this, rightfully so. There will be a lot of people who say, ha, bad game failed, already given away. And you're not wrong. Listen, there are a litany of reasons to have issues with this game. I myself have had videos on this channel where I've voiced some of those issues. And this feels like one of the games that is probably the easiest to dunk on because there was such a large defense built up around it by games journalists and, just sort of games access media types in general. I myself had a debate on Twitter with a editor for a publication that gave it a 95. This editor followed me. I was unaware of what his actual status was, but safe to say, I brought up the issue of the score not really being reflective of the quality of the game, as well as the fact of the line "a return to form" appearing in, many reviews, theirs included, and the fact that the game developer said that his hope was to see the line "a return to form" for BioWare in the reviews. And I was just pointing out the closeness the access media, the games journalists have with these particular institutions, these game creators, and how that jeopardizes their credibility. Anyways, safe to say I was blocked by this individual. We did not have what I would call a fruitful conversation. My point was not taken well, but the media, they kind of stood 10 toes down defending this game. This, to a certain degree, sort of feels like it was their Alamo. So I get, if you're on the other side of that, wanting to kind of rub as much salt into that wound as possible. You're not wrong to do so. My only problem with this game going to PlayStation Plus Essential so quickly is, while I do want these games to remove a lot of like the political preachy nonsense out of them that they have been in there, the reason that I want that is the reason that I want other things too. I want them to be responsive and respectful of their customers. And while the people who purchased, Dragon Age Veilguard on PlayStation at launch may necessarily not have the same discerning tastes as far as game quality that I do, I still don't want to see their support for this title rewarded with essentially EA saying, hey, you wasted your money. The reason being is I think a lot of what we forget is to repair these companies, they actually have to care what we think. And that's all of us. And maybe they're finally starting to care a little bit more about what the dissenters think. But at the same regards, it was like, you should have cared more about that when the game was in development. Now that it's out, you should at least stick with the people who stuck with you. And this is a lot of the problem that I've had with EA for a long time now. I always harken back to Dead Space 3. I was a huge fan of the Dead Space franchise. The first game was one of the few games that I've platinumed. So when they tanked that franchise, I wrote EA off. I wrote EA off for a very long time. I refused to purchase any of their games. That was until they came out with Wild Hearts. Now, Wild Hearts is in the Monster Hunter genre, a genre very near and dear to my heart, and it felt like the most high quality attempt at providing another competitor in that space to Monster Hunter. So I wanted to support that title, but EA, as EA generally does, they abandoned that and they kind of left everybody high and dry. And now that title is dead in the water because they never accepted from the get-go that what it takes to develop a title like that is built over multiple entries, over decades. It takes a long time to create a monster hunting franchise because it's not adopted all at once. You have to earn the people's trust, and EA is not known for earning people's trust. I will say this. I get where everybody's coming from with this news about you know, Veilguard being thrown onto PlayStation Plus. I don't disagree with any of the sentiment. I just think the EA does deserve to treat those who stuck with it through this, you know, through all this turmoil of this franchise. Those who stuck with them, they owe them better than saying the $70 you spent with us 4 months ago is meaningless. I may not necessarily agree with those people. I may not necessarily want to consume the same games as those people, but they do deserve better. And the truth is if EA refuses to respect them, then they're never going to respect us. And I believe that's probably an industry-wide problem. I believe a lot of these publishers do not respect us, but you know, if you want publishers, if you want game makers to have that coming to Jesus moment, they can't just respect the people that they weren't respecting before. They do have to treat the ones who have been loyal to them like they matter. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. You know, if you like this, like it, do all the YouTube stuff, and we will catch you on the next one. Until then, guys, get awesome.